Hey doggies, welcome to the next video. I've had some calls and concerns. People have been making burgers and they've been falling apart. Okay, so what we're gonna do is make you a burger that won't fall apart. And there is a key to it. Now these are my ingredients. Okay, 2 eggs. Gonna pop it in. That's not what makes it stick. If you think, contrary to every video you see, grated cheese, I'm gonna throw it in. Okay, I got garlic, a pepper, green pepper, yellow pepper, an onion, which I think that's a little bit too big. And that's a red onion. We'll throw it in here. We want to blend this, okay? And everybody knows what this is. Spanish thyme. That's the name I'm going to say today. Some shadow Benny. Put this all in. And whether you eat pork or not, I have bacon, okay? So I'm going to do it this way. Because all this flavor is just going to go in the meat. And Bella, can you stop crying, please? Show my cat. Stop crying, Bella. I know you smell the food. And you really don't want to add any water unless you have to, because it's going to ruin it. So let's do this really fast. And here's the tools I use. This for the meat, this for the seasoning. I might have to add some water. Yeah, I do. Just a touch. Just for mixing. You don't want any water in this. And this stuff is going to go all over your crab. So I'm going to mix it up some more. So that's your base when you mix it. But that's not the important thing. Oh. That's it. Right. There we go. Keep taking it. Keep taking it. That's your base. Okay, we're done. Let's make sure there's nothing left to mix. Okay, that's done. So this is done. Remember, no water. Pour it in. Little drip. Water is going to destroy this. That's done. Now here's the important part. If you don't have one of these, well, and you try to do it by hand, it's always going to break apart when you fry it. That's done. You put that away. Now, with the meat, the cheese, everything, it's not really kind of the messy part, but meat you get from the supermarket is whole. It's not mixed. So when you try to make a burger, it's not going to stick. Keep doing this. And contrary to what everybody says, you don't need breadcrumbs. Now you see, the meat goes from this to this. You gotta make sure it's even. If it's not even, the uneven parts won't stick. And that's because when they make it, the way they make it, it's just for you to buy. Mix it up a little. Remember, you're not going to get everything at the same time. a little not mixed properly, it doesn't matter, it's gonna stick. Make you go crazy, man. There, done. You can put this away. Clean all this crap off. I can notice there's a lot of fat on here, right? You're gonna have to clean this after. If you use bacon, because the fat's gonna go around everything. Less fat, the better. See? See all the fat? You can see it. This is a way to remove it. But me, you know, I like a little fat in my food. That's done. Just gonna hot water that. You can do that later, finish it. But in the event. And if you're using one of these, the main problem if you're using bacon, because of the fat, I'm gonna show you. In the middle of your cutter, there's gonna be a ring of fat there. You're gonna have to use a toothpick or something to get that out, or it's gonna stay there. So I'm gonna soak that in water, put some soap, just to get it out. Now, comes to the beautiful part. This is what you want to use. This is mixed. And you notice I don't use tomatoes because you don't want water in it. You see there's some that's not mixed. That's okay. You blended most of it. Now I'm just going to show you making the burger or making balls. It's still going to work. So, to make it safe for me, it makes it actually easier on you. I'm gonna get some olive oil and put on my hands. I'm gonna make sure they're dry, because if they're not dry, the oil is not gonna stick to your hand. My hands will stay clean through this whole process. Okay, first, let's make a burger. Okay, I got a little pan. Depending on the size, you take it, throw it in, flatten it out. And you notice I have a piece of saran wrap there. You can make it to any thickness. Now you gotta remember, this is gonna shrink from this wide to this wide. So make sure you put enough. Okay, next, let's just rip a piece of parchment paper. Well, that's not a great rip. Put another in the middle of the pan. Add some more. And remember, you have to pick the right size you want, because it's going to shrink. Take it again. I'm not trying to be like perfect right now. I think I could actually make one more. Now you gotta remember, this might look big to you, but when you cook it, it's gonna go small. Yeah, I can do one more. The ideal here is you don't want them to stick together. That's 4 burgers, and they won't stick together. Probably gonna make more. But you still have to make meatballs. Okay, this is done. When this is done, you put it in the freezer, and when you throw this over, they're all gonna fall out. Now you gotta remember, this size here will become here, and will swell like this. Okay, that's part one. With the meatballs, hold on. Now, you don't have to use parchment paper, but if you want to make them all equal size, get one of these things. And again, if you want to make them equal size, take the olive oil. I think I'll make this size. Pour a little bit in, mix it up. That way you know the meat's not going to stick. So, I think that's too big, man. Well, let's try two. Let's do the small one. Put it in. It's one size, drop it. We'll do another one. That way you just get equal sizes. So I have some oil in here, I put in there, fill it up, drop it, and just keep going. And you know, this is actually a lot. Didn't expect it to come out so much. So we're gonna make something extra. You probably only need 9 for a family of 4, because you can cut it in half while you're cooking it. Yeah, we need 9. And these are big, man. I should have used a smaller size, but I don't have them. But these are still big. And mind you, when you fry these, they ain't breaking. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna make one more burger. This is not for a family of 4, okay? So, I'm gonna make one more burger. I made these already. Okay, I'm gonna put one more parchment paper. Or, actually, you know what? You don't have to use parchment paper. That's just the simple way. Let's use some of this. Put it on top. Put the last bit of meat. That's done. Just do by eye. Put it over. Okay. Cut it. Fold it over, make sure it's in the middle. This is going to be actually a smaller one, but that's perfect. Now you freeze this. You got 4 burgers. And like I said, this size will become this size. So I'll put that in the freezer. We're not done. Now, we have 12 perfect meatballs. We can actually make these big, or we can cut them small. Now, if you want to increase your size, cut them in half, which is what we're gonna do, because that's what we do. That's how we start. Put some soap in it. Perfect. This is actually the size you want. I made them too big. I'm gonna roll them. Need one more piece of, where's that paper last time? So, I'm gonna pull this off. This is the cutting board. I put this on, another one, and just drop them. Oh, it smells so good, man. So I'm only doing this just to maintain the size. So when you're cooking, you don't have to worry about times. You know it's cooked. This is actually probably 2 meals. Given 3 people, 4 or 5 people, this is perfect for it. And I'm gonna remind you, when you fry these and you're cooking them, they will never break apart. That's my guarantee. If you did it and it broke apart, let me know. There's gotta be something wrong. Now you notice you're not seeing any of the actual meat that's broken, like this, okay? That's the meat they give you. This is mixed. But when you mix it up and you blend it, it'll never break apart. A lot of mistakes people make, they think, okay, yeah, I'm just gonna put egg, and put this, and put that, it's not gonna break. But that's not true. It's gonna break apart on you. And you have to be careful while you're cooking it. This way, when you cook it, as long as you singe all the outside, it'll never break apart. So again, this whole thing I'm gonna put in the freezer, just like that. It'll freeze and I'll bag it tomorrow. And then the next time I wanna cook it, it's gonna come out like a beauty. Oh, that's a small one. Okay, well, you know, my size is not perfect, my cut wasn't perfect. Nobody has to be perfect. All that matters is when you eat it, it tastes awesome. So yeah, this is like a dinner for 4 or 5 after you cook it. Because when you cook it and they fry, you're gonna cut them in half. Mind you, this size is gonna become this size. All the cheese, the flavor is going to come out. And again, I didn't have to use my special seasoning because this is a dish in itself. Okay. I'm going to put this on top. And this itself, let me wash my hands here. I hate dirty hands. Have a little top. I'm gonna wash this after. And like I said, when you're using one of these, okay, that fat, I don't know if you can see it. The fat of the bacon goes in here, okay? And it wraps around there. So what you do, I'm gonna grab a toothpick. Take a toothpick and you pull that fat out of it. Doesn't always work the way you want to, but you see it broke. But that fat is gonna rot in there. So this is like the worst part of making this. You gotta pull it out. You have to use your fingers, but mind you, that's a sharp knife. But when you clean it, you have to take it out, especially if you're using bacon or any meat. All the fat will wrap around this. And that's the main thing that works your machine. There, see, I got it. Now it's gone. Now you see, it's almost clean. I got one piece left. Oh, get out of there, man. Nice. So, you get that fat out. And you have to do this. I mean, there's no way around it. Or else it's gonna stay there, it's gonna stink, it's gonna rot. Doesn't matter if you dry it. It's gonna really affect the other food you make. You have to get it out. Oh, I broke it. Show you the other side. There we go. I'm getting it out. You pull it out, all of it. Always make sure it's clean. A dirty dish will get you sick. So the fat is out. I got one piece left, man. It's really hard. I mean, especially with glasses and like this for seeing far. Even if you have to use, bamboo stick would actually work better. But I don't have any broken ones. I don't want to waste the ones I do have. Yeah, I got it. So, you see? Just a little bit left. I'll get it off, but you guys get the gist. You have to take that out and soak it. And voila! You're gonna have an awesome spaghetti. Now, if you want, these are too big, cut them in half, roll them again. But now we have to freeze them. We'll put this on here. They're not officially round, but put our dishes away that we're not using anymore. Now, like I said, not everybody has that. So, as an alternate, if you really have one of these that are really strong, you can do with this. It'll take you a little more time, but I mean, you cut up the bacon much smaller, you cut everything much smaller, and you mix it like this. Everything's ready to wash. Let it soak, because you don't want any crap coming out. And I showed you different ways. You can actually use foil too. And you guys already saw my dinner today. I made some shrimp, some chicken fried rice. And I just love cooking, so I just keep on cooking. So my next one will be what I just made now. I'll cook it and I'll show you guys how I cook it. But in terms of adding anything else, you don't need. Unless you're making spaghetti or whatever you want to make, you can cut it the way you want, make it the way you want. Anyways, thank you guys for another lesson, and I'll see you soon, doggies.